Tonight on CTV News, public servants launch job action.
We're not going to advertise what our strike strategy going forward is.
Which workers were off the job today and why the public could feel it more in the days ahead.
If you have to rely on the RCMP or the Crown to do the right thing to keep people like this off the streets, you're on your own.
Attacked by a man with an axe, a Haida Gwaii community in fear. A hereditary chief says the justice system isn't protecting victims.
The options for students have been curtailed.
Back to school woes as layoffs and program cuts hammer BC colleges and universities.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Thousands of striking public servants hit the picket line today. The BCGEU began job action targeting provincial offices in 3 different cities. The union says wages are at the heart of the labor dispute and they are prepared to escalate strike action to bridge the gap. CTV's Martin McMahon reports.
Public sector workers on strike. In all, the BCGEU says 2,600 of its members walked off the job Tuesday in Surrey, Victoria, and Prince George. It follows a 92.7% strike vote mandate last week.
We're not going to advertise what our strike strategy going forward is, but I'll just say today you're seeing predominantly inward-facing government services that are impacted. That's going to change. That will escalate over the coming days or weeks.
At the heart of this dispute, wages. The union says it's only been offered a wage increase of 1.5 to 2% and is seeking more than double that from the government. The union had suggested initial job action would not affect everyday people, but those coming to this ICBC location had appointments cancelled.
I had arranged my daughter's daycare. Plus, I have 3-month-old daughter, and we both came here, and like every schedule has been disturbed. So I've been here for one of the appointment, but when I started from the home, I put it on the Google to search are they working or not. No one had put it that site is affected with the strike.
But for the rare few who crossed the picket line, service appeared prompt for basic services such as address changes.
Well, I didn't have my BC ID, so I went there to get my BC ID, and I had my appointment by 2:50, but it got done before the time because it wasn't busy that much.
They are very helpful and very kind. Everything was perfect.
Martin McMahon joins us live from Surrey. And Martin, what is the union saying about job action tomorrow?
Well, Mijung, it looks like we're going to essentially see an instant replay. So there are picket lines planned again at 6 locations in Victoria. There's also going to be a picket line set up in Prince George. And yes, right here again in Surrey at this ICBC office. So if you had plans, if you had an appointment in place at this ICBC office in Guildford, maybe worth just double checking to make sure that's still on. And in all cases, in all likelihood, it probably isn't. The one caveat to all of this, the finance minister says that the government representatives are planning to meet with the union at one point to discuss the potential of a new deal, or at least the prospects of it. Mijung?
All right, thank you, Martin. Smoother sailing at Hullo Ferries. It seems job action has been averted for now. 91% of workers had voted in favor of job action, but late this afternoon, Hullo issued a statement saying the company and union agreed to return to negotiations. Ferry operations will continue in the meantime. The federal transport minister left BC ferries unscathed after a summit that brought together government officials as well as industry leaders and suppliers. This comes after BC Ferries was criticized for awarding its latest ferry contract to China. Our Penny Daflos is here now. Penny, does it look like Chrystia Freeland's willing to let the controversy just subside?
That seems to be the message, Mijung. BC Ferries has been clear. The contract to buy the next 4 vessels is a done deal, so it appears that Freeland is now looking to future ferries as the tit-for-tat trade conflict with China continues. BC Ferries has been under fire for its announcement that there were no Canadian bidders on its 4 new vessels and that a Chinese state-owned shipyard had won the contract. Freeland had sent a letter in June saying she was dismayed and disappointed in the decision, but at today's Transportation Summit, a different tone focused on the future.
Both the federal ferries and the provincial ferries needs to be renewed, and we had the shipbuilders here today to hear from them what it's going to take to make it possible for them to bid on those contracts.
We need yards to be able to provide the same certainties around cost as we would see internationally. Fixed prices, that's pretty standard in the industry. We would need the kind of guarantees that we would get around delivery.
Jimenez also points out Canadian shipyards are busy with federal contracts, so construction of new ferries, that wouldn't start for 5 to 10 years. The first vessel built by Weihai Shipyards is scheduled to go into service 4 years from now. BC Ferries has previously said that it will have a team of experts on site during construction to supervise and provide quality assurance. Jimenez also told CTV News that the Canadian Infrastructure Bank knew in April that China would be the likely winner of the bid and that federal officials did not raise misgivings about the move at the time, Mijang.
So BC Ferries probably happy with Chrystia Freeland's softer tone.
Sounds like it.
Okay, thanks, Penny. People living in Masset on Haida Gwaii say one man is terrorizing their small town and claim authorities aren't doing enough to stop him. As CTV's Kevin Chirac reports, a hereditary chief is speaking out after he and his son were attacked with a large axe.
My son was just millimeters away from having his brains bashed in.
Darren Swanson recalls the horrifying scene Thursday night in Masset.
This is a splitting mall.
When he says a neighbor with a history of trouble attacked him and his son.
He swung at me twice and missed. And then on the third try, when he was reloading, my son tackled him from behind and threw him to the ground, and we both sat on him until the police came.
The weapon grazed his son's face. The man was arrested, but residents say he's been terrorizing the town for years.
We've had interactions with him going back, I think, 5 years now.
This couple says they've been threatened in the past and went to police just days before the attack.
I'm a wreck, nonstop. I don't know if you're going to put this out there or not, but we have protection nonstop over the last 5 years.
I look over my shoulder in my own yard.
The man faced multiple charges in recent years, including uttering threats, breaching probation, and assault. We are not naming him because he has not been charged in this case. In a statement to CTV News, RCMP said, "We will relentlessly pursue those who hinder safety in our community. We ask all those who are witness or are a victim of a crime to report it." RCMP say they'll be recommending multiple charges, but for now, the man's been released on strict conditions. What those are is unclear, and that's left Swanson and others on edge.
Is this guy going to sneak out and try to burn my house down? Who knows? Definitely mentally unstable, this person. I've actually bought shotguns to keep nearby.
What concerns me is the fact that he's done this again, and he has been released on strict conditions, which mean nothing because he doesn't follow them, and there's no repercussions for not following them.
Swanson has escalated the issue to Crown Council and local government leaders demanding justice.
It's really frustrating to live in a society like this.
RCMP denied our request for an interview. The suspect is due in court next month. Kevin Chirac, CTV News.
BC's police watchdog has been called in after a man was shot by police in Burnaby Monday afternoon. It happened on a quiet residential street, leaving neighbors stunned. CTV's Ben Nesbitt has more.
Flashing lights, police tape, and officers lining Dundas Street Monday afternoon. Investigators say it all began with a call to a domestic dispute just before 3 o'clock. The RCMP say the responding officer encountered a man outside the home, armed with a weapon.
All of a sudden, I looked out by the window, and then I saw the guy running with the knife.
Lotus Chang says she heard officers trying to get the man to drop the knife, but their attempts were unsuccessful. Police say after an interaction, one officer shot him.
I heard the gunshot bang, and then bang, bang. And then I'm scared. And then I didn't look at the scene. And then my son went out. And then he said, Mom, look, come out, look. I say, I'm scared, I'm not looking. And then my son said, oh, I think they shot his leg.
Police say the man was taken to hospital and remains there in serious but non-life-threatening condition. The Independent Investigations Office, or IIO, is now taken over. Under the Police Act, the agency will determine if the man's injuries meet the definition of serious harm or death. And secondly,
if there's a connection between that serious harm or death, serious harm in this case, and police action or inaction.
Anyone who witnessed the incident or who has video footage of it is asked to contact the IIO. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Burnaby.
Back to school has post-secondary schools across the province scrambling to adapt to budget cuts. Some orientation events are being trimmed and campus services are greatly reduced. As CTV's Yasmin Gandam reports, students are now calling on the province to step up.
The first day of the fall semester for Vancouver Community College faculty started with an email.
We've just getting 31 layoff notices this morning, which will take effect on January 2nd.
Faculty in 6 different departments have received notice that this will be their last semester. It comes amid the federal government's cap on international students. This year alone, VCC has had 3 rounds of layoffs.
I've been around a few decades, and this is the worst round of cuts affecting the most institutions that I've ever seen.
Students are also feeling the impacts of budget cuts. UBC has had to cut orientation events and campus services.
If they're not getting the right supports in terms of mental health or physical health, like that, the supports that they can actually get in classrooms or the campus experience, then students are not going to be able to graduate.
Even more specific programming that allows cohorts to meet each other and to discover the resources that are available to them is either no longer there or the group sizes have potentially up to doubled.
Now the BC Federation of Students is calling on the province to restore public funding of the post-secondary system to at least 75% of operating budgets.
They're paying more and they're getting less.
BCFS says over the past decade, tuition fees from international students have been used to replace public funding.
You have to remember, international students aren't paying $2,000 a semester for tuition. They're paying $10,000 or more a semester for tuition.
CTV reached out to the province for comment, but did not hear back in time for broadcast.
So students are currently the shock absorbers for government cuts.
For many, the usual back-to-school excitement now comes with serious concerns and changes in an already overwhelming time. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
The start of school means busy crosswalks, crowded drop-off zones, and lower speed limits are in effect once again. Drivers are being urged to take extra care. CTV's Reagan Hasegawa has more on what's being done to keep children safe as they head back to class.
Many kids are excited to be reunited with their friends and teachers today, but that buzz can also lead to distractions. And because of that, officials are reminding drivers to slow down, especially in school zones.
There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of nervousness. I think it's important to expect the unexpected when driving in and around our schools. You know, we're still in the summer. It's not officially over, but we're used to the last couple of months of not a lot going on in and around the schools. That changes considerably this week, the rest of the month, and throughout the school year. There will be lots going on, and it starts with you.
30 and 40 km/h school zones are back in effect, and parents should follow all drop-off and pickup rules. The City of Vancouver is also expanding safety initiatives, new slow zone signs and markings, the walking school bus program to reduce congestion, and temporarily blocking traffic in front of select schools. ICBC says road safety is particularly important right now. Its survey shows nearly 1 in 3 drivers admits to speeding in school zones at least some of the time. September is also the riskiest month of the year, with about 50 children injured while walking or biking across BC. For many kids, the first day is bittersweet.
Excited to be going back to my school, but also I'm sad summer's over because I had such a great time.
Drivers are also being reminded to yield to buses, watch out for kids crossing mid-block, and avoid distractions behind the wheel. And with construction causing traffic congestion across Vancouver, the best advice is to give yourself some extra time. Reagan Hasegawa, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Greater Vancouver Food Bank is teaming up with its counterpart in Regina to redistribute over 90,000 pounds of fresh food between BC and Saskatchewan.
It's just about Vancouver and Regina wanting to show that there's a pathway and a playbook to work together in this way and get more food to more people.
We're trying to maybe just prove a point. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's all about logistics and about distribution.
The first trade happened last month with a refrigerated truck leaving Burnaby with 45,000 pounds of fresh BC produce and returning with the equivalent in pulses and grains from Saskatchewan. The 5-day exchange only cost $6,000. A dozen new wildfires have erupted in BC. Also ahead. Why tensions turn into violence after a day fishing on the Fraser River, and a step too far, why this driver at YVR ended up stuck on a staircase, what airport officials are saying. When CTV News continues, stay with us. A rare recreational fishing opportunity for anglers on the Fraser River wrapped up over the long weekend, but not before a bloody brawl broke out in Chilliwack. CTV's Ben Milger now with video of the altercation and reaction from other fishers, and a warning, some viewers may find that video disturbing.
There's a lot of fish in the river and everyone's catching them, as you can see, and yeah, it's just great being out here in the sun with our families.
This is what a day fishing on the Fraser River should look like. But on Sunday, some anglers in Chilliwack could not get along.
It's okay.
A bloody brawl broke out, including multiple combatants, and one bleeding man being punched repeatedly as he lay on his back on the rocky riverbank.
We're really disappointed. That's not what the West Coast anglers and fishing community is all about. Yeah, that should never have happened.
No fish is worth a f***ing assault charge! The man who shared the video with CTV News says the altercation began as an argument over a pink salmon and quickly escalated to include more than half a dozen people. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans initially predicted a return of less than 3 million Fraser River sockeye, but as the fish started to come back, revised that number to nearly 10 million. As a result, it authorized First Nations commercial and recreational fisheries. It's the first time in years any of the groups have been allowed to target sockeye.
Oh, there you go.
The recreational fishery, which opened August 22nd, ended on Monday. While it was open, each licensed person was allowed to catch and keep 2 sockeye and 4 pink salmon each per day. Fishers say it's unfortunate the brawl tarnished an otherwise bountiful few weeks on the river.
You know, to spoil it over a disagreement and an argument like that is just, it's really disappointing as a business owner, as an angler, as a British Columbian, as a fisherman.
Chilliwack RCMP say nobody reported the brawl, so at this point it doesn't appear any of the men involved will face consequences. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
An out-of-control wildfire has prompted an evacuation order for a community in northern BC. The Beef Trail Creek fire has grown to more than 2,700 hectares near the village of Anaheim Lake. It's one of dozens of new fires believed to have been caused by lightning over the last week. Another is the Mine Creek wildfire, which sparked yesterday between Merritt and Hope and has grown to nearly 300 hectares. There are now nearly 160 fires burning in BC, with 67 of those listed as out of control. And Caroline is here in for Anne, and it's not just the wildfires we have to be concerned about, but the heat warnings.
It's the heat, it's the wildfires, it's just a recipe for disaster, really. Let's take a look at what we are talking about now with the heat warning in effect and also a special weather statement due to air quality. So here's the heat warning. Temperatures approaching 30 30 degrees in the Central Coast, and also very, very hot in the South Thompson region as well. And the current temperatures throughout the Lower Mainland, you see the red, that means hot. It is muggy, it is hot, and these temperatures will continue through tomorrow. Overnight, we get a bit of a reprieve in terms of the temperature. 15 degrees, not too shabby, but tomorrow, 25 degrees, mainly sunny skies. But look at the humidex. It's going to feel closer to the mid-30s. So it's another muggy, hot day. And
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
so, Mi Jung, we do get a bit of a reprieve in terms of heat, but not for the next few days at least. So that is certainly not good news when it comes to the wildfire fights.
Definitely still feeling like summer, because it is still summer.
It is still summer until the end of September, so it is still summer. But as much as we laugh about the temperature, as much as I laugh about the temperature, it is very serious, and a lot of parts of our province are really suffering. So hopefully we get a bit of a reprieve soon. We will over the weekend.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Caroline. A BC man is charged with killing a 23-year-old Calgary woman. The details around her death also ahead.
So this is what I think about Crown Royal.
A spirited display by Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Why he poured out a bottle of Crown Royal. That's ahead. Today marks the end of a sad chapter for Toronto police. More than 2 years after a beloved police dog was fatally shot, his killer has been sentenced. Bingo died in the line of duty, shot and killed while searching for a suspect. As CTV's John Woodward reports, body cam video of that day was played in court, and a warning: some of the details are disturbing.
This video shows the last minutes of the life of Bingo, the police service dog.
Nobody else has come through your backyard?
It's July 25th, 2023. Bingo is working with his handler, Sergeant Brandon Smith, to arrest a man named Kenneth Grant. Grant was on the run. Superior Court heard he had just shot and killed his daughter's on-again, off-again boyfriend after a dispute. And Bingo had just picked up Grant's scent. The dog rushes into the bush in a residential area near Kipling and Dixon Road.
Hey, come out!
Seconds later, gunshots can be heard on the video. The handler calls for Bingo, but Bingo doesn't come out. His leash is slack.
I need the medics! My dog's down!
Bingo had been shot in the face by Grant, who unloaded several rounds into the residential area. Police fired back, shooting Grant twice in the leg and buttocks. Grant was arrested. The video was played in court last week and released Tuesday. Grant pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of Sophonius Haley, as well as 3 gun charges and to killing a service animal. Justice Maureen Forstell agreed with the joint submission from Crown Counsel and Defense that 14 years was the right sentence. Forstell said this was not a reckless act, but a deliberate one. It was a cowardly, callous act towards an innocent animal taken for the sole purpose of escaping apprehension. Bingo was honored in a procession after his death. The Toronto Police saying in a social media post, "This case is a stark reminder of the dangers our members face in protecting our city. Bingo was killed in the line of duty, shielding his handler and fellow officers. He will always be remembered as a hero." Smith himself joined by at least a dozen members of the Toronto K-9 unit. An emotional day for all of them.
He's never going to forget Bingo.
The Toronto Police Association president Clayton Campbell said Smith was coping.
A very dangerous situation, but again, we're very proud of our police dog services. They're part of our policing family.
A family that's still missing one of their own. John Woodward, CTV News.
A BC man has been charged with manslaughter in connection to a woman's death in Calgary. Jaleesa Mashke was found badly injured on a pathway last December. She later died in hospital. Police did not reveal the nature of her injuries at the time, but investigators said she was involved in an altercation. Nehemiah Osland is charged with manslaughter. The 29-year-old man is from Cranbrook. It is not believed he knew the victim. Ontario Premier Doug Ford left no doubt today about what he thinks about a company that is moving its bottling plant from Ontario to the U.S.
So this is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
Ford poured out a bottle of Crown Royal during a press conference. It was in reaction to an announcement last week by spirits maker Diageo to cease operations at its bottling facility early next year. The company says it's intended to improve efficiency. The move will affect about 200 jobs.
Brothers and sisters.
Tariffs remain top of mind as U.S. President Donald Trump's strategy faces a legal setback. A federal appeals court ruled Friday that his tariffs are illegal. CTV's Rachel Aiello looks at what this could mean for Canada as Ottawa drops counter duties.
The start of September marked the end of Canada's counter tariffs on U.S. goods covered under CUSMA. But today, Donald Trump showed no signs of reciprocating. The U.S. president is preparing to defend his global tariff regime before the Supreme Court.
Because without the tariffs, this country is in serious trouble.
Trump standing by his trade tactics comes as one cabinet minister asserted today that despite dropping retaliatory tariffs, Prime Minister Mark Carney hasn't put his elbows down.
There's no capitulation. Let's be clear. Zero. Never. That's not happening. We're trying to match exactly what the Americans have done.
And trade talks are ongoing.
It's a complicated negotiation.
That negotiation will be a central focus as Carney convenes his cabinet in the GTA. Starting tomorrow, the Prime Minister and his front bench will be planning fall priorities, from preparing for the CUSMA review and supporting tariff-impacted sectors to fast-tracking big projects.
The federal jobs minister announced new funding today aimed at helping young people succeed in the economy of the future.
Today, the Government of Canada is announcing that we're investing $26.1 million in 6 new projects under ESDC's Youth Employment and Skills Strategy. And these projects will bring together service providers, employers, and youth to better match the skills and talents that young people have with the needs of employers that are seeking that talent.
Each of the 6 projects has a different theme. A major focus will be streamlining skills, training with the needs that industries and technology require. The minister says there's no single reason for the increase in youth unemployment, but calls it concerning. Some disappointment for people hoping to shop at a brand new Zellers store in Edmonton.
I'm very happy that Zellers is here. It will give Walmart competition, and that's what we need.
People might be happy to have Zellers back, but they'll have to wait a bit longer. Despite saying it was going to open Monday at noon, a long lineup of people ended up being turned away. The retailer is slated to open in a former Hudson's Bay location, which is the first replacement store that's been announced. Staff say they expect Zellers will open later this week. Remembering a 12-year-old Vancouver Island boy killed while out rollerblading. Also coming up. Spinning its wheels on a staircase, how a driver at YVR ended up making a very wrong turn. Will the airport take any action? That's ahead. YVR officials are looking at installing barriers in the parkade where a driver made a wrong turn onto a stairwell. On Saturday, the sound of squealing tires could be heard as the driver tried to reverse and get off the stairs. In the end, the vehicle was towed. This appears to be an isolated incident, but the airport is considering bollards or similar devices to keep it from happening again. And tonight, the area remains temporarily closed. The Cowichan Valley community said goodbye to a young student over the weekend. The 12-year-old was tragically killed after he was struck by a vehicle while out rollerblading with his family. A memorial is growing for Xavier Razul Jankovic on the side of a road in Shawnigan Lake. A funeral was held Saturday at the school he attended in Duncan. The young hockey star is being remembered for his academics, his athletics, and his incredible spirit. The school says it's extremely grateful for how the community has come together during the tragedy.
It's uplifting to know that people want to be a part of helping and supporting others, you know, in their hour of need. So I think that has really been something that's been, hugely uplifting at a very difficult time to navigate.
A GoFundMe campaign has been launched for Xavier's family. As kids head back to school, a new mural in East Vancouver is highlighting the contributions of neurodivergent students in the community.
We're hoping this stands out as a beacon, not just in East Vancouver, but throughout BC, to really say we're not just about destigmatizing, we're about empowering, and we need to come together, nourish these children, nourish the youth and our peers, so that we can grow together and take flight.
The mural was painted by artist Carson Ting on the side of the nonprofit Learn, Develop, Succeed at Broadway and Rupert. The charity provides specialized educational support to neurodivergent young people and adults to help them build skills and confidence. We now know just how many people came out to enjoy all of the fun at the PNE Fair this year. Officials say more than 612,000 people came out between August 16th and the final day yesterday. That's down a little from last year's crowd of more than 637,000 and 2023's attendance of more than 626,000. There were more than 180,000 pierogies sold, more than 60,000 chicken strips served, and 166,000 lemons squeezed to make lemonade this year. The U.S. Powerball lottery has grown to a ridiculous amount. How much the massive jackpot is now, also ahead.
I can just take it anywhere, whether it's on my phone or on my watch. I know that I always have something to pay with.
More people are using their phones to pay for just about everything, but what happens when you lose your phone or it's stolen? That's ahead. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil was up by around $1.50, now sitting around $65 a barrel. Gold saw a $76 bump. On the stock market, the TSX gained 51 points, while the Dow Jones lost 249 points on the day. We could be in for a colorful night in BC, with the northern lights expected to be visible above the province this evening. There is a high probability of aurora activity across western and northern Canada, peaking between 8 and 11 p.m. Usually the aurora borealis has more of a greenish hue, but a NASA astronaut has captured a crimson-lined one orbiting Earth. Red auroras only happen 2 or 3 times during a 6-month mission to the International Space Station. Caroline, that red and green, it looks like a watermelon, doesn't it?
Oh, now I'm hungry. I didn't know there were red aurora borealis. Well, I guess we can't see it from here, but
yeah, pretty stunning. And hopefully, if there's clear skies tonight, people might be able to catch a glimpse this evening.
Well, it's looking pretty good, friends, pretty good. All right, let's take a look at the forecast, beginning with the unpleasant business. Heat warning still very much in effect for the Central Coast, including Terrace, Kitimat, and Bella Coola. South Thompson as well, includes Fraser Canyon and Boundary. Temperatures there up to 35 degrees, and that means special air quality statement is in place for, well, really much of the province for at least the next 24 to 48 hours. North Peace River, Caribou Region, Prince George, Central Coast, inland sections, Fort Nelson, the wildfire smoke wreaking havoc on the air quality. So if you do have respiratory issues, do try and limit your time outdoors. And here's a look at the weather tracker. Nothing to see here, just a whole lot of clear skies. That's your commute to work tomorrow morning and your commute home. Bring the shades, friends, because it's going to be another hot, sunny, muggy day. Let's take a look at the forecast for the South Coast tomorrow. Port Hardy, mainly cloudy skies at 20 degrees. Campbell River, Comox, nothing but sunshine and a high of 28. Tofino, mainly cloudy skies there, 19. Port Alberni, Nanaimo, very hot, temperatures in the low 30s. Gulf Islands, Victoria, sunny skies between 26 and 27 degrees. Going to get sunshine on the Sunshine Coast. Powell River and Seychelles will see highs of 27 degrees. As for the sea to sky, Whistler, Squamish, 31 degrees. For the lower mainland, between 25 and 30. I put a little bit of cloud in there because we could see some cloud early in the morning. But friends, remember, this is not going to be a cloudy day. It's going to be hot and muggy. And with the humidex, it's going to feel closer to 33 to 37 degrees. These hot, unseasonably hot conditions continue till at least Friday. We get a bit of a reprieve over the weekend, which is a very, very good news, especially in terms of the wildfire fight, Mijung. So we're happy to see that, but still no precipitation, at least for Metro Vancouver as yet. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
So it looks like tomorrow is going to be the hottest day in the next little while.
Yes, another muggy one. So and a lot of special air quality statements for much of the province. So again, if you live anywhere in the central interior in the northern part of the province, do try and limit your time outdoors if you have respiratory issues.
Yeah, the only thing that's helping is that the evenings are just a little bit cooler, so it's not quite so bad at night.
Touch cooler, a touch cooler. The southern interior is still battling the hot temperatures overnight, but a reprieve is coming, friends. Fall is on the way.
All right, thanks, Caroline. Whether you're buying lunch or movie tickets, more people are now tapping their phones to pay instead of using cards or cash. Using a digital wallet is convenient, but what happens if your phone goes missing or falls into the wrong hands? CTV's Pat Foran reports.
It's something more of us are doing on a daily basis, paying for items using a smartphone. Digital wallets are fast and convenient.
I can just take it anywhere, whether it's on my phone or on my watch. I know that I always have something to pay with.
But not everyone is convinced it's the best option.
I feel more secure, or just go the old-fashioned ways, use cash.
While opinions differ, there's no question digital wallets are catching on. Once set up, payments are a breeze.
Wherever you go, whatever kind of payment system they require, all you need to do is pull out your phone. No need for cash, no need for plastic.
A Consumer Reports survey found 4 in 10 consumers use their digital wallet at least once a week, but that convenience may come with risks, because if someone gets into your digital wallet, they could access your money in seconds.
There are security features that are built into both your phone as well as the wallet app on it, but they're not always turned on by default.
You want to make sure your digital wallet is locked. Set it so you need a face scan, fingerprint, or passcode to make a payment. You may need to turn these features on. If your phone goes missing, make sure it can be found remotely so you can erase all your data before someone else gets to it. On an iPhone, go to Settings, tap your name, then Find My, and make sure Find My iPhone is on. If you have an Android phone, it's called Find My Device. Just sign in with your Google account and it's enabled automatically.
If you haven't activated it, you need to, and you should practice it. Do a test run to make sure that if the worst happens, you're ready.
And watch out for scams. They're on the rise.
Scams involving digital wallet payment apps have become a serious problem. Some consumers have lost thousands of dollars. So it's important to stay vigilant to avoid becoming a victim.
To lower your risk, turn on transaction alerts for every purchase. That way you can catch anything unusual right away and protect your money.
Someone in the States could be holding a lottery ticket worth $1.3 billion. That's right, billion. No one has matched all 6 numbers in the Powerball draw since May 31st, so the jackpot has now reached the 5th largest prize in the game's history. The odds of getting all the right numbers are 1 in 292.2 million. Payments for a jackpot would be spread over 30 years, or the winner can choose an immediate lump sum, which now stands at $589 million. The next draw is tomorrow night. A tense situation brought to a very swift end thanks to a grippy new law enforcement gizmo called the Grappler, plus bird-brained. Adam finds out the story behind a raven who's defying expectations by expressing creativity. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of CTV Morning Live.
Well, kids are now back in class, but does more need to be done to protect them? Wednesday on CTV Morning Live, we're taking a close look at a new report about risks to the well-being of children. Also, the NFL season kicks off this week. We'll check in with TSN with what we can expect from last season's Super Bowl champions and the teams to watch. We'll see you in the morning.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
Saturday Night Live is adding 5 new people to its cast, including a Canadian.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Veronica Slowikowska of Barrie, Ontario, is known for her role on the Netflix series Tires. She's also gained a huge following on social media for the sketch routines she creates with her roommate. Posting on Instagram today, she wrote, "Joining SNL was her dream come true. She'll make her debut on October the 4th." A high-speed police chase came to a swift end thanks to a device known as the grappler.
Once it's engaged, typically within a few seconds, the pursuit is over.
Video shared by police in Michigan shows the moment the grappler lassos the rear wheel of a suspect vehicle, tethering it to the police cruiser. That didn't stop the suspect from trying to get away. Eventually, the vehicle's axle gets ripped right off. The driver and 2 passengers were arrested. That's pretty creative, but you have to get really close to be able to lasso the tire.
And hope no one else is around.
I know. There does seem to be some risks involved with this one.
Challenging.
Okay, do you guys like the Stairmaster?
I think I've done them once or twice.
Yeah.
Like it.
Maybe not the right word.
It's a love-hate.
Okay, well, an Ottawa man has stepped his way into the record books.
The end was like, all right, you know, it's
Japper
showtime.
completed 111,285 steps on the Stairmaster in 24 hours, breaking the previous record of 108,000. He broke the record with 30 minutes to spare, with friends, family, and community members cheering him on. The Guinness Book of World Records still has to confirm the record. Not sure how much sleep he got within that 24 hours.
And I complain about doing 15 minutes. I think I should just tune out now.
Looks painful.
Yeah, it's a tough bar to reach, right? Okay, Craig, what's coming up tonight at 11:30?
Well, Mijung, we are tracking a few stories tonight, including the search for a beloved teacher in Surrey. Bill Haworth was last seen last week in the Fraser Heights neighborhood. After days of searching, the family is calling on the public to pitch in and help find their dad. CTV's Isabella Zavarisi sat down with the family tonight, and we will have the latest at 11:30. We will also have the latest on the wildfire situation here in the province. We are tracking some fires that are burning right now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Craig. Well, calling someone a bird brain is usually not a compliment unless you are talking about this raven. Adam meets a Cowichan Valley bird overcoming adversity by engaging his considerable intelligence. On this Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Before she started preparing paints to play with Kyle, Brooke Whitelaw was learning to be aware while feeding him.
I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
The first time they worked together, Kyle found a way to sneak a bunch of food away from her.
He's like a cheeky toddler, but he's also incredibly intelligent.
That was 3 years ago.
Oh, you're so excited.
Before Brooke and Kyle became best buddies.
You're such a good boy.
And after the raven was attacked by a dog and treated at this conservation and education center with a badly broken wing.
Normally a bird would not have a good quality of life without a wing.
But Robin Radcliffe, the director of the Raptor Center, says Kyle's personality was proving to be anything but normal.
He was running around, jumping on people's shoulders, sitting in our lap.
So, after much thought, they decided, instead of euthanization, to try amputation.
It was amazing how quickly he adapted to it.
And when he wasn't wanting to play with Lego, Kyle was stealing sandals from visiting children's feet so he could use them as toys.
We started trying to brainstorm some activities that we could do with him.
The first thing they taught Kyle was recycling.
And our message there was, if a one-winged raven can recycle, so can all of us.
But if that one-winged raven is also fueled by overcoming challenges and mastering skills, you need to keep teaching him something new.
They are considered to have about the intelligence of a 3-year-old child, and so you definitely see that.
So they decided to cultivate Kyle's creativity.
Good job.
At first, Kyle put paint everywhere but the canvas and occasionally ripped up that sponge in frustration. But once he got it, the raven seemed to relish it.
He is very food motivated, but I also think it's rewarding for him to be able to figure something out.
And while his people appreciate the work he does,
It's a beautiful abstract painting.
They're even more inspired by how Kyle overcame adversity to excel at it.
He's so happy and he has so much fun. And
no doubt Kyle will be so excited when he finds out that the next skill they're going to teach him is soccer. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Duncan.
Amazing. I need Kyle once a week to help me with recycling.
I want Kyle's pictures.
Yeah. Incredible.
Plastics cans.
Yes.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us.